Depot on the beat.
What is going on, gang? What is going on? This is another episode on the Mark with your boy Marcus Washington, where we talk everything Falcons football. We got the dub today over the Houston Texans, 19-21. Game-winning drive by Desmond Ridder. Field goal by Young Wei Koo to give us the dub. I'm not gonna front. I was a little worried about that field goal. I've been worried about Koo all year, and he came through. So let's talk about a couple of things, man. This defense is for real. Now they gave up the touchdown with a little over. I think it was less than 2 minutes to go. Looks like Jesse Bates jumped the coverage and got fooled on it. Tight end got the ball in the end zone, touchdown. Let me say this. This is probably officially Desmond Ridder's great game. I'm going to touch on that because I'm still not convinced. The Texans in the preseason were a snack to me. This was a team I honestly overlooked because I'm like, that's a dub, right? But good way for Ridder to respond, man. If I'm gonna give criticism, I'm definitely gonna give praise, man. 28 of 37, 329 yards. His first game over 300 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions, none. This is what you would consider a great game. He didn't throw good to great. He didn't throw for 4 or 5 touchdowns, but he did what you needed to do. The Texans pretty much showed him, we're loading the box. You're going to have to beat us. And that's what he did. The one number that stuck out to me, I told y'all, Kyle Pitts, minimum needs 80 yards. Minimum. 87. He had 87. Drake London ended up with 78 yards. Jonnu Smith ended up with 67. Hollins ended up with 29. Smith got 28. Pruitt got 22. Robinson got 12. You see where I'm going here. When you get your playmakers involved, fam. Now, we shot ourselves in the foot a lot this game. A lot. Back-to-back fumbles. Back-to-back. And these were plus yard plays. Bijan gets his first fumble. He hit. It was a good hit. It knocked the ball out. And then Smith is just trying to get extra yards. Instead of just getting down, he was trying to get extra yards. Ball got popped out. It is what it is. Penalties cost us. We were, holding. One got called on Jake Matthews. McCary went out, and I'm gonna be honest, I ain't missed that. I hope your boy gets better, but offensive line for the most part played good. Uh, One of the reasons why, and this was a game we needed. This was a game we needed. We went down 2-3. That, bruh, sky's falling. I still am reserved, being that this is the Texans and their last two games. This is fool's gold. CJ Stroud had some good plays. Had some very, very good plays there. But Houston is fool's gold, fam. They won their last two games. Now, I will say this. They scored 30 plus in those games. They didn't even get to a 20 piece in this one. So that's indicative of our defense. But fam, if we're going to be real, this offense still needs to tweak. Hopefully this is heading into the right direction. Because for the first three quarters, outside of that drive, I know y'all were frustrated. Didn't you, Jay Lana? Let me get to some of these comments. Jay Lana says, didn't you say Ritter needed to be benched? Yes, I did. And I still low-key think that. But we'll see if this is his turnaround game where the light finally goes off. I'm fine with that. But this is the Texans. This is the Texans. So we got Washington coming up next. That should be food too. We should win that game also. But what we're starting to see is Ritter plays polar opposite when he's at the house. But I've been telling y'all, these guys have been open. Pitts has been open. Drake London has been open. These guys have been open. He just hasn't seen it. And for whatever reason, this week, he saw everything. So take of it what you will. Do I want the kid to succeed? Of course. Listen, I said this last week. I ain't putting nothing on Ritter at this point. Everything's on Arthur Smith at this point. So if he comes out next week and plays absolutely abysmal against Washington, I'm not even putting that on him. I'm putting that on Arthur Smith. But the boy had a game today. Can't take that away from him. The boy had a game today. And he played, listen, Desmond Ritter played like his job was on the line. He came out there looking off, got the hard count. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Got him 4 times. Got him 4 times with the hard count. I'm like, he's looking off guys now. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Wait a minute. So maybe this is the light on moment. I don't know. What I'm saying is I'm a hold reservation at this point. But he had a good to great game today. I'm not going to take nothing away from that kid. No turnovers. And a game-winning drive. Just marched us right down there. I mean, you can't ask anything better from this quarterback in this game than what you got. Period. Arthur Smith still suspect with some of these play calls, but I will say it's weird that we had 2 trick plays and that seemed to get Desmond Ritter in sync. The touchdown, listen, Bijan continues to just absolutely amaze, bruh. the shovel pass that was behind him. First of all, how he caught that was incredible. But then to catch that in motion and then walk in for the touchdown. Now the rushing, let me see what we got on rushing total. Bijan got 46 yards rushing. Algier followed up with another 40 piece. Desmond Ritter got 10. So we're at 96 yards rushing for the game. Which again, pretty impressive seeing how Houston was just stacking the box. It was just like, listen, this kid is gonna have to beat us today. Problem with Houston is Houston ain't really that good on defense. That's why I say when people look at the Texans, it's fool's gold. It's always fool's gold with the Houston Texans. But CJ Stroud was balling the last 2 games. So this is why I am going to propel our defense to a top defense. Because outside of, you look at everything that these offenses have gotten, they're usually busted plays. The 2 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, to Calvin Ridley, I forgot where the other one went to, busted plays, completely busted plays. The touchdown in the 4th quarter, Jesse was trying to jump the route. And he just got fooled. Outside of that, I'm going to take 19 points. 19 points, you're supposed to win. Period. Let me get to some of these comments. Sav says, man, I hope this is the turning point of this offense. I agree. Chuck says, Ritter played great. We get this more. We got something. I agree. Shard says, were there any sacks in the game? Let me go look. I do not think so. Let me see. Nope, there wasn't a single sack allowed from either team. Let me go through the numbers, man. Total yards, Texans had 313, we had 447. Passing yards, they had 249, we had 351. Rushing yards, limited them to 64 rushing yards. We had 96. Yards per play, they were at 5.4. We were at 6.0. First downs, they had 17. We had 27. Third down efficiency, they were 413. We were 7-15, which is actually pretty good, seeing how we had a stretch where we were 0-4. So we ended right above 500 at third down efficiency. Fourth down, neither one of us went for it on fourth down. Total plays, they ran 58. We ran 74. They punted 6 times. We punted 5. The penalties, which we need to clean up, they had 5 for 25 yards. We had 7 for 55 yards. Fumbles lost. We lost 2, and they didn't have a turnover. Time of possession, they held the ball 24 minutes, 28 seconds. We held the ball for 35 minutes and 32 seconds. Let me say this. To win this game with 2 fumbles, again, I'm going to take it. Don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I'm going to take this dub. But I'm going to hold reservation. I'm going to hold reservation. I have to see what happens next week. We have to start seeing a trend of this. See, with the defense, we see the trend with the defense. Offense, 21 points. I still need more than that. I still need more than that, fam. But 21 to get the job done against Houston. Again, Washington is food. Washington is food. That should be a dub. Should be an absolute dub. But good win. Joe says Jonnu Smith is becoming my favorite. Other than that, he had a fumble and he had a drop pass that should have went for. It actually should have went for first and a little bit more, and he just dropped it. Mac dropped one also. And to my knowledge, those are the only 2 major drops that I saw where I'm like, man, bruh, Desmond put it right on y'all. Y'all got to catch that. And I think Kyle Pitts had one also. Let's see. Dom says if Ritter can continue to play like he did, today's offense will be hard to stop. Well, at 21 points, that's not really scaring anybody. But if Desmond can continue to play like this is the first game we've seen Desmond play like this. So out of 9 starts, when people were talking about benching him, such as myself, and he comes out and responds like this against the Texans team that, again, was fool's gold, it's impressive, but I need to see a trend. This needs to happen next week also. Because remember, we're playing a Washington team that got dog walked by the Bears. So I expect the same result. It don't stop, with just this one game. If he comes out and plays like he played last week, next week, then we're just going to have to look at this game as a one-off. I want to see this kid do good. I don't think he's ready. I still don't think he's ready. Even with this game, which is arguably his best game, we have to see this on the road, and we have to see a consistency of this. Now, what I do like is in this game, he found a connection with Kyle Pitts. We already knew he had one with Drake London, but he was just missing Kyle Pitts for whatever reason. So with Kyle picking up 80 yards, 86, 87 yards this game, that is a good sign into the future. Jonnu Smith, again, for me, with this offense, the way you have it built, you need to be scoring 24 plus. Period. You need to be scoring 24 plus. Now, we're 3 points under that today. Hopefully, we're able to build on that. If Desmond Ridder can prove me wrong, hey, man, I don't mind eating crow. Period. Martavius says, hopefully we see more of this from him. We might have something with him. I say this, the last time we were in the red zone, I wish Ridder would have tried to extend the play. Offense still got some work to do. But we got the dub. So I'm gonna look at that, and tomorrow we won't be talking about all the in particulars. The one thing that I will give Desmond Ridder some major respect for is these throws weren't at the line of scrimmage. These throws that he completed. Let me go back and see what his completion. He was 28 of 37. A lot of these were 5, 10 yards and more. That's what I want to see from a quarterback, not the at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. Passes that mean something. So it was impressive. I'm not going to front. It was impressive. Y'all know I said last week, if he played like trash in the first half, we need to be seeing Heineke come out in the second. One of the reasons why I say this is look at what's going on in New England. They benched Mac Jones again. This is the second time in 2 weeks they benched Mac Jones. So I don't really have a lot of patience, as you can see. But hey, man, great game. Arthur Smith, they bought themselves a couple more weeks. Let's see. Carlo says to see it grind people's gears because he played well is making my day. Yeah, man, listen, at that point it becomes hate. If anybody is hating on Desmond Ridder playing and having a good game, that's hate at this point. This is coming from a guy who, hey, listen, I won the bench last week. I'm still reserved now. And the boy had a great game. And we got the dub. 3-2. Tampa is either playing now or they play later on. And New Orleans won again, so we're still in that fight in the NFC South. I think Carolina got their brains beat out again, but who the hell cares? But yeah, man, good win. The O-line, I'm gonna give the O-line some credit. O-line gave Desmond Ridder time to throw the ball. Now, I need to see this next week. the fan base need. You can't take 2 steps back. Now, I know some people say this. Well, Marcus, the Bills got beat by the Jaguars today after stomping the Dolphins. Well, couple things. One, they had to fly to London. Jacksonville was already there. 2, I saw 2 drives where Josh Allen went right down the field. And I'm like, where the hell was this for the first 3 quarters, bro? But that's a franchise QB. I think collectively, everybody can say Desmond Ridder isn't our franchise QB. He's just our QB at the moment, trying to become the franchise QB, right? So when you're a franchise quarterback, you can almost afford games like that, especially after you beat the brakes off the Dolphins. You can kind of, because people just write it off as, man, you know what, just it is what it is. I don't think Ridder has that room. So again, great game. But from henceforth, ain't no regression. So I think the pressure is even more so on Ridder now, because we're like, okay, you can get to the Reed, you can get to Kyle Pitts, you can get to Drake London, you can get to Jonnu Smith. Either the Texans are so awful on defense, or you made a turn. We're gonna find out next week. So if next week Desmond Ridder comes out here, I don't even need 300 yards, honestly. Desmond gets you, and maybe $180, 200, 2 tubs, no turnovers, and a dub. That's acceptable for me for this type of quarterback. But we got to have, to me, what I'm seeing right now in the NFC, we have to have more than 21 points, though. With this offense is capable of making more than 21. And you can argue we left 2 tubs on the field today. You can make an argument of that. Because there was some drives, fam, that was looking good. And for whatever reason, penalty here. Dahlman had a dumbass penalty. I think we were going to be like a 4th and 2. It's just, come on, man. CP still hurting. I think they said they were bringing CP in along. They didn't really want to overwork him, but I think he had 1 or 2 good catches today. But yeah, you can tell they're still trying to work him in there. John says defense played good, but we still need somebody to get to the QB. Amen, brother. Amen. Anthony says great team win. Desmond Ridder finally showed up, and the defense did their thing. Yep, absolutely right. Terrence says, what is Matt Ryan calling the game against Washington? I don't know if he is, but that oh, that would have to hurt him. Scooter says he needs to average 225 just to be respectable. Listen, 225 to a guy. Now we have to accept the fact that Desmond Ridder's in his rookie season. That's what we weren't sold that in the offseason. We weren't sold that in training camp. We weren't sold that in the preseason. Now they're selling that to us, that he's only in his 8th start, and so family, we just have to come to the exception that this is Desmond Ridder's official rookie year, right? So I'm not going to give him 225 because again, 329 is a lot for him. Usually he's right around 140, 150. So yeah, I'm not gonna put 225. I'm not trying to put any more on Desmond Ridder's plate than I need to at this point, right? Because you have to realize this is a rookie. So since we're being told now this is his 8th and 9th start, we can't put a lot on his plate. But the boy played good today. Jeff says, good team win today, just hoping we are more consistent from week to week. We did. In order to compete, we definitely need to be. And again, next week, that's food. That's a W. That's a W. What's going on? Jackie says, Drake is a dog, but I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe with Ritter yet. Yeah, man. When you get it to your playmakers, it makes the game so much easier. And listen, let me give Arthur Smith some credit. He finally decided to do just that instead of just focusing on Bijan. There were plays designed for Kyle Pitts. And when Ritter went up, not Ritter, but when Drake London went up and got that 50-50 and came down with it, I'm like, this should be every week. But you see some things coming along. You see the emergence of Jonnu Smith coming along. I mean, you had Jonnu Smith, you had Kyle Pitts, you had Michael Pruitt. I'm like, oh, okay, we getting our tight end finally. But again, when it comes to the Ritter stuff, I'm in reservation right now. He bought himself about another week or two. But your boy come out and play like chicks next week against man. Let me look at the schedule, fam. Let's just look at the schedule. Hold on for a second. So we got the Commanders. We got the Commanders next Sunday. That's food. That's food right there, man. That's food. That's a dub. Ain't no regression in this game. We have the Buccaneers the following week. Man, beginning of the year, that was food. But I'll hold reservation for that game for how we perform and playing against Washington, because listen, your boy down there in Tampa done got his third life. Baker out there looking good in Tampa. Then we got the Titans, the Vikings, the Cardinals, the Saints, the Jets, the Bucks, the Panthers, the Colts. Man, I said at the beginning of the season, this is a 10 plus win. This is a 10 plus win season. 10 plus win. I'm hoping Desmond Ritter turned the corner, because if not, this game might actually be a curse to us, because he played so good today. Even if he plays like absolute cheeks next week, he bought himself about 2 or 3 more weeks. Now, if he'd have played like trash today, he might have 1 more week, and he's on the bench. But I mean, he played so good today, man. It's almost like, hey, you got to get this guy at least 2 or 3 more weeks, because maybe he hit that corner. I'm not gonna lie, I was thoroughly impressed by what I saw from him. I was thoroughly impressed by the offensive line. I was thoroughly impressed by the defense. But the reason why I'm in reservation is this is the Texans we played. And if we're going to be realistic, we won by 3 points at the end of the game at home. So this is why I'm holding reservation. Now, if we would have beat the absolute dog shit out of the Texans, we having a different conversation at this point. Desmond Ritter comes out here 28 for 37 with 4 or 5 tubs. We just absolutely mollywop him. Man, this is a completely different. I'm eating crow at this point. I'm like, hey, man, this is the Texans, but these boys waxed them. But I'm more impressed. If I'm gonna be honest, man, this defense is just impressing me more and more and more as the weeks go on. I mean, you look at these scores, man. We haven't given up a 25 piece yet. The most the team has scored on us is 24. And these all were winnable games. The Jacksonville game, honestly, we played so awful. That was a winnable game. Well, the offense was so atrocious. The Packers, they only scored 24. The Lions, they only scored 20. If this defense can keep it under this and we get our offense to actually think about it, fam. Let's just look at it this way. If the Falcons scored 24 points in each of these games, just 24, you beat the Lions, you beat the Jaguars, you're undefeated. You're walking into week 6 undefeated, bruh. And this team is capable of putting up 24 points. However, the Falcons have only done it twice. Well, we did it twice out of 5 games. That was against the Panthers, and that was against the Packers. Our first 2 wins. The next couple games, it was 6, 7, and 21. What's going on, Ray? So what that's telling me right now is the offense needs to put up 24 points. Which, I mean, I've been saying at the beginning of the season. You know my threshold, if you score 28, you should beat any team in the NFL. But hell, if you put up 24 each of these games, we 5-0. So it's definitely the offense, but they responded to the criticism very well today. Desmond Ridder responded to the criticism because his job was probably on the line. And that's even more impressive. When you know your job's on the line and you come out and you play like this, we can kind of low-key disregard the fact y'all playing the Texans. But there's a glimmer of hope for Desmond Ridder that I saw. But next week gonna tell me everything I need to know. Next week is gonna tell me everything I need to know. Because what the Texans did, Washington might not do. We've seen the last 3 weeks the 2 teams do the same exact thing to Desmond Ridder. Stack the box, shut down the run. Desmond, you're gonna have to beat us. And he's 1 of 3 in those games. So anyway, not on him. Everything's on the coach. Guy played great today. Jack says, you know what I noticed? They didn't really respect us declining penalties on 2nd and 6 and brought us to 3rd down, and we made them pay. Again, yeah, I agree. When you look at our 3rd down efficiency over the last couple of weeks, it hasn't really been good. Now we went, it was 9 for 9 in one of these games, but outside of that, 3rd down efficiency had been horrible. So they were just betting on the numbers. Hey, listen, not really a good 3rd down team. We're gonna force Ridder to beat us with his arm, and today he did. Millie says, Mark, what's up? I'm happy to see all our weapons actually involved this week. We need to stack this though. Washington next. Agreed. I'm a lay back and I'm a relax. I've learned to watch Falcons games, man, with a strong temperament. I don't get too up. I don't get too down. I'm kind of in the middle. One, because I can't really get up and down, and the stress is too damn high. The stress is too damn high. But again, Arthur Smith needs to build off of this. This is a big confidence booster to Desmond Ridder, I'm pretty sure. And even for the team, it's a big confidence booster. Because now, you look at guys like Kyle Pitts, you look at guys like Drake London, you're like, maybe this guy can get us the ball. There would maybe one, I'd say, maybe 1 or 3 inaccurate passes he threw today. Where I'm like, that wasn't catchable. But some of these balls, again, I'm gonna put some of these receivers on notice, bro. Desmond actually hit you in the hands. And when you know your quarterback has been playing like cheeks the last 2 weeks, you have to help him out. You have to. You can't cough up the ball with a fumble. None of that is on Desmond. None of it. The fumble to Bijan, can't put that on Ridder. The fumble from Jonnu, can't put that on Ridder. He hit you. You were trying to get extra yards. Ball got popped out. Can't put that on the QB. So just like I'm critical, I'm also going to call it how I see it. Joe said Mac didn't swing on him either. Nah, and listen, in a win, if you get out of there with a dub, man, ain't nobody swinging on nobody. Carlos says if we win, the momentum is going to be on our side, especially their confidence soaring. We're going to be extra pipe because it's a division game. Yeah, I think I'll say this. Next week's game is uber important, just like this week's game. It was important because if your quarterback plays like trash, then you got to move on from him. If he plays good, well, okay, let's see what we can build off of. I think Washington is not going to put 8 in the box, though. They're going to review the tape. They're going to be like, he was killing them. And that's what you want a defense to do. Okay, y'all ain't putting 8 in the box? 7, get behind me. We're going to run it down your throat. But see, Ridder has to prove that he can throw this rock. He has to prove that. And I just saw Washington get their whole ass served against the Bears team that was considering, now allegedly, we've heard rumblings of they getting Justin Fields up out of there. And Fields said, not tonight, bro. Not tonight. And their quarterback, Sam Howell, I like the kid's grit, but no, not against this defense. No. That ain't even food. That's a snack. We should beat the brakes off of Washington. We should beat the brakes off of them. Scooter said Jonnu dropped a dime too. Yeah, man, he's catching that ball and running for at least another 10 yards. LKO from the Mac. What's going on, fam? He says Dez got to play good on the road, not just at home, but great game today. Yeah, I think people that are super critical of Desmond Ridder, that's a justified thing to say. A lot of people aren't really going to be impressed by this game because if you look at his track record, he plays incredibly different at home. He's undefeated at home from college to the pros. And they're like, yeah, that's good and all, but you're going to have to win on the road. I agree with that. And we'll see. We will see. Because I think if he plays well against Washington, fam, we just going to have to strap the fuck in. This is our quarterback until the end of the season. I thoroughly feel that way. There are some pros and there are some cons to that. There are some pros that if we beat the brakes off of Washington, then you can be like, okay, maybe, just maybe, Ritter might be that guy. I still, even after this game, I don't believe it. But there'd be a glimmer of, okay, let's see what your boy got. Let's see what your boy got. But yeah, I agree. He's got to play better on the road. But again, I like the kid. I still don't think he's ready though. It's just me. That's just me. Prahlad, I hope I'm not messing up your name, fam. He says, good game. Once CP is 100%, will be unstoppable. I just feel like at this point, if we put up 24 points, we're beating the majority of the teams that we play. I mean, this defense, right? You got to win a lot of these games. And again, we got games that are winnable. The Cardinals, that's a winnable game. The Vikings, that's a winnable game. The Titans actually is a winnable game. The Jets is a winnable game. The Panthers, that's a dub. That ain't even a win. That's a dub. The Colts, winnable game. The Bears, winnable game. The Saints, now we might split with the Saints. But fam, I counted 6, 7 games just then? Maybe? That gets you to damn near 10. But the games that you're supposed to win, you have to win those games. I'm pretty sure Buffalo is licking their wounds because Jacksonville was that's a winnable game. And they went out there and laid an egg. But the difference between Buffalo and us is Josh Allen. This is Desmond Ritter's first good to great game. We've seen countless. I mean, hell, we saw last week. If you want to know what a great game is, look at Buffalo last week. Josh Allen just didn't put up one touchdown. He threw 4 to Diggs by himself. That's 4 tubs. That's a great game. That's why Josh Allen ain't worried about his job being taken anytime soon. Now, if Desmond can put up 2-3 tubs against Washington, then you might have some folks backing up off of him. Because even though this is a good game, and listen, I don't want to make this whole thing about Desmond Ridder. It might seem like I'm telling y'all from what I see. I'm an offensive-minded person. This team's strength is supposed to be offense. A quarterback touches the ball 100% of the time on offense. So if Ridder wants to be the franchise QB, not just the QB, but the franchise QB, you got to get more than 1 tub. You got to. That was a shuffle pass to Bijan, which honestly, Bijan had to do the majority of that work because that catch was incredible. Then he had to run it in. But also, the rushing touchdown that he got, it looked like it might be in an RPO fashion, but that was a design run for Desmond Ridder the whole way. It worked out good, great. I love it. But when I see people trying to compare Desmond Ridder's bad games to other QBs that are franchise QBs, by the way, I'm like, bro, okay, that's one bad game. These guys have had incredible games. Now, you can mark this as Desmond Ridder's best game, no doubt. This is 1 out of 9. So Desmond has to build off of this. This is why the Washington game is even more important than this game. Because if your boy goes out there, puts up 302 tubs, then we're like, okay, all right. Because as much as people might think that, Falcons fans are being overcritical of the quarterback position, I've been critical of the head coach also. And listen, Arthur's still on the rate. He's still on the hot seat with me. But this win is on him. So you got to give these guys praise the same way you give them criticism. That's what I believe. So great team win. Good game by Desmond. Great overall, all-around game. Tyler Algier, they got him busy in the fourth. You saw him start to get loose on him. O-line played good. D-line played good. Defense played great. AJ got beat one time, I think, and that was on the it was like a 3rd and 7, and he got beat on a crosser. That's about it. Jesse Bates dropped another gimme. He dropped another. Boy, I'm like, he catch that, it's to the house. This game over with. But the defense hungry, bro. Nobody's running the ball down our throats. Because you see teams try to run on us. And let me give some praise to D. Alford too. D. Alford had about 2 or 3 plays this game that were nasty. It was a good overall team win, man. Puts us at 3-2. Hopefully we can build from this. Washington is a snack. That ain't even food. That's a snack. That shouldn't even be to me, that shouldn't be a close game. All these games, low-key, have been close. Well, except for the Panthers, where we took off, 14 points and never looked back. You look at the Detroit game and the Jaguars game, we played so awful on offense. Had we had any momentum, I think both of those games were winnable. But we can no longer be that get right game for other teams. So the games that we've won, Packers by a point, Panthers by 2 touchdowns, and the Texans by 3. We got to offense has to start imposing its will on these teams. You're too good on offense. And I know people be like, man, you complaining too much. And man, when I mentioned the pass game being cheeks week 1, people like, man, don't worry about that. Then when we get beat by the Lions and we get beat by the Jaguars, all of a sudden, same people. The passing game is the problem. $24 points. We beat the majority of teams on our schedule. 24. That's all I'm asking for. 24. That's 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I don't even care how you get the touchdowns, on the ground or passing. You get 3 touchdowns and a field goal, you'll beat the majority of these teams on your schedule. Facts. The way this defense is playing, 24 is the magic number. You do that, we in the playoffs. If you don't, different scenario, bro. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and land my plane. Damn, I've been on here talking for 51 minutes. Great win, man. Again, I reiterate, Desmond played good to great. Arthur Smith, you can argue, pitched a pretty decent play calling game. Defense played awesome, absolutely awesome. I like where Kyle Pitts is with his yardage. Drake London, I like all of this, man. Um, I like all of this. So the only thing, you know, we shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times on the offense with the turnovers and the penalties. If we clean that up, we're probably scoring more than 24. So we got to clean that up. But man, listen, overall good game, man. Joe said, have Ritter QB at home and Heineke on the road. Nah, man, if Ritter's gonna get over that hump, he's got to get over it on the road. He's got to. So again, it's never anything personal with with players, man. But it's just my perspective of what I see. You know, people want you to be docile in a win, and hey, man, just shut the fuck up and take the win. Just y'all always complain about this and always complain about that, and I'm like, you'll be complaining about it in a couple of weeks. So let's be proactive about this thing. So I see a lot of bright spots in this offense. But the Pitts connection, the Ritter-Pitts connection, to me, that is the definite bright spot. Because if you can get Kyle Pitts 80 yards a game, just think about it, fam. He's got 80 yards. All you need is 20 for 100 yards passing, which you can easily get. But you have to make sure your weapons are involved. Look at when Drake London caught that ball. Man, it was bigger than just the completion to him. That man got up, threw off his helmet, was foaming at the mouth. It's bigger than that, man. You're getting these guys involved, and they're making plays. Let's build on that. Let's slap the shit out of Washington, and let's get prepared to go against Tampa. Because that arguably could be a fight for number one in the NFC South. But I'm not trying to go backwards with Washington. I'm not trying to see that. You've showed us what you're capable of doing. Let's continue that. So with that being said and done, fam, I'm up out of here. Y'all have yourselves a great and fantastic Sunday. I'll probably be back on here tomorrow, man, because there'll be a lot of post game that I'm gonna want to go through. Just like if I go through it on a bad week, I'm gonna go through it on a good week. But we'll be back on here tomorrow, fam. So I will see you guys then. Peace.